All right, so I just went to a tiny whoop race in Dayton, Ohio. It was a UFC, WWF race or something like that.
And there is no one that does it better than the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Underground Whoop League is 75mm spec racing, so everybody's flying pretty much the same rig and really all about who can fly the best. So that's what we're doing right here. We got tiny little drones as they're coming around for the start finish right there.
I didn't race in this race because I don't have a tiny whoop for that specific class of racing, but I just wanted to go and hang out because, you know, Mike Duran from Gen Fan Props asked me to go and they give me free props, so I got to do what they say. I'm just kidding. Anyway, these guys could really fly. They're really skilled pilots. Even though they're flying these little, basically toys, we still call them pilots. A pilot is somebody who flies a 747, but also controls a little plastic quadcopter. All right, so long story short, the first drone I ever purchased was a toy in 2015. It didn't have a camera or anything, and I just flew it line of sight, and it had a switch on it that it would do a flip. So that was pretty cool. So then fast forward a couple years later, I ended up purchasing a DJI Mavic Air. I've had this thing since, I don't know, the summer of 2017, I think, maybe 2018, I don't remember. And it still flies, it still does what it needs to do. It gets 4K video at 30 frames a second, good enough. Once I got the DJI drone, I was like, wow, this is really easy. It just hovers, all I gotta do is push the sticks and it goes, it just does it. Heck, I don't even really have to do anything. So then, back in summer of 2022, I started building my first drone, racing FPV drone, whatever you wanna call it. And when I started building this drone, I was looking at things online and I kept seeing this language of calling people who fly drones pilots. And I'm gonna be honest, I laughed a little bit. I was like, what? That's hilarious. Like, you're flying a toy, basically. There's no special requirement to fly a drone. If you fly an airplane, you have to get an airplane license. But to fly a drone, you can literally just do it. In my mind, I'm thinking pilot is more of an accolade or a credential that somebody has, kind of like doctor. I can't just give you a Band-Aid and say that I'm a doctor. The way that I perceived it is it would be like stolen valor, like stolen pilot valor, you know? Okay, let's say that I were to put that I was a pilot on a dating app profile, okay? And let's say I get a date, you know, and then she's like, can we go on a flight? And I'm like, sure, we can take a flight. And so instead of taking her to the airport, I take her to an abandoned building. Or even worse, a multi-GP race. Are you impressed?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See? You can impress women with drones. And I say, here's a set of goggles. Get ready, this is gonna be the coolest thing you've ever seen. So what do you think the percentage chance of me getting laid out of that situation is? I'd say it's a pretty low percentage chance. Not gonna lie, I basically made this entire video so I could tell that stupid fucking joke. So anyway, when I first tried to put my newly built FPV drone into the air, it didn't go very well. I didn't even try to fly it with FPV goggles. I just tried to fly it line of sight, which that was probably a really terrible idea. See, I didn't actually truly understand the difference between flying an FPV drone in manual mode and just putting a camera and drone in the air, like a DJI Mavic, for example. I remember even trying to figure out, looking at YouTube videos, how do I get this thing to hover, just like my DJI drone? Yeah, so these DJI drones don't really require a lot of skill to pilot. They pretty much just do that for you. Now, there is some skill required to be able to get good video footage, but that's not really about being able to actually fly a drone, more or less, than it is being able to frame a good shot. The cinematography aspect of it isn't really what I'm talking about here. Well, I was gonna come out here and fly my drone today, but it's raining now. But one thing I do notice is these red X's. I think they're gonna tear this place down. So I was going to demonstrate the differences between flying a DJI Mavic type drone and then like a FPV drone. It is raining, but it's not raining that bad. That's it, literally. Look, it flies itself. All I gotta do is push the stick forward and it goes forward. Go up, rotate. So easy. Anyone could do, a monkey could do this. The whole thing is really simple to operate and anyone can do it. To land, I just push the land button. I slide the landslide, and it lands. That's it. Now it is raining, but I'm willing to risk this for the bit, okay? But I'm gonna put this drone up because I know that it can handle just like a little bit of water, probably. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so we'll just arm it and do a quick hover. See how much it's out of control? Because like I have to control every aspect of it. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully the camera's getting it. But I have to control every aspect of this with my sticks. And it is just like very difficult. It's easier to do it with the goggles on for me. So I'll put the goggles on and I'll hover this a little bit. Like it's not good, there's no position hold like there is on a Mavic. Yeah, so the only real assistance that those drones have is the Betaflight firmware, which you can technically do like an angle mode, which is an auto level mode, but that still doesn't give you a position hold. Now you can install iNav on a quad like that and definitely get a position hold, but then at that point you have to get GPS and tweak it and whatever. There's still a lot of skill that's involved in flying it. So I think ultimately the question that I'm really asking here is, does skill really play a factor in labeling yourself as a pilot of drones? Or does it even matter? Honestly, it probably doesn't matter, but I needed some content. So that's just where we are right now.